order the Macedonia Planning Commission meeting for February 9th, 2026. Can we get a roll call?
Mr. Westbrooks.
Here.
Mr. Wallenhorst.
Here.
Mr. Roberts.
Here.
Ms. Muskie.
Here.
And Mr. Varhola is absent.
All right. First item is approval of the December 15th Planning Commission meeting minutes. Do we have any comments? No. You want to make a motion?
I motion we approve the December meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No, I abstain, I wasn't here. All right, first regular agenda item is Clean Express Auto Wash. For that, I have to abstain myself, but I'll turn it over to Scott Sharani for that item.
Sure. Someone present. How are you doing today? Good. Just want to give us a real brief overview, and then we'll let Mr. Franz get into his comments.
We're here this evening on two items. One is the monument sign, which is the update to an existing monument sign, and to meet the comments of the city regarding structured letters. So we have some handouts I want to show you for monument signs that remain in the same location, very similar size, so it'll be well under the sign ordinance size due to the existing size of the basins there. And then the other item is an employee which would be located at the current inside lane kiosk or staff.
Mr. Franz.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. My report dated January 31st for signage and employee booth. As the applicant stated, they're requesting a new panel sign, freestanding sign with a maximum of 40 square feet, set by the code, 8 feet tall. The proposal is to basically change out the panels that are in place, so it's about 14.9 square feet, so no issue with the area of the sign. The height, at least from what I could tell on the plan, is unknown, but it appears to be less than the 8 feet. And just pointed out that the existing sign was constructed around about the time when the city adopted a revised sign code that moved toward a higher elevated standard for signage. And one of the things historically that the commission's been doing is when panel signs, plastic panels are introduced, they've been requesting and working with the applicant to obtain dimensional lettering or dimensional logos and not the panel signs. So that's something I felt that the commission should talk about. Relative to the employee booth, the setbacks and the use to have an employee booth are not an issue. It's pretty common, especially in Northeast Ohio or Ohio generally, with the weather conditions. But the concern that I have is the proposal to utilize metal panels, the material types. It's real close. This property is either right inside the town center district or it's right on the fringe of the town center district. It's tough to tell on the map, but it's right there. Regardless, the materials proposed need to correlate with what the building materials are, and metal structures are not permissible pursuant to the architectural standards. So felt that we should have a discussion about the sign, and then relative to the materials, and then also the materials of the employee booth, because metal just is not a permissible material.
Okay. Thank you. All right. You said you had some updated materials to provide to the team. If you want to go ahead and pass those out for all of us.
Just start with the monument sign first, or
Yeah, probably. Do we want to separate the two of them out? Because it sounds like, let me ask this question. Do you have, for the employee booth, do you have other materials that you're proposing other than what you do? Okay, okay. So then we can talk about them together, and I think we can separate them because based on Mr. Fran's recommendation, if we need to have them come back to that, we can separate the two out.
okay.
So,
Copies here.
I'll grab a bunch of those. Thanks.
That's for the monument sign.
okay.
And then it's a little bit easier to pass out package This was clean last year, and so just acquired last year. Operating car wash.
Oh. I was assuming the same, it was changing logos, but I see the name is similar but different. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, absolutely.
The second package is for the booth.
That's-
I do, yes, you gave me one, thank you.
He was first talking about the monument sign.
Sure, yes, if you wanna go ahead and talk about that.
And that package, site plan is self-explanatory, it's just highlights of the existing sign, is that we want to, we're not changing the base, we're not changing the size. What we're showing is, what we call a Ichiha board. It's a nice cement board that new cabinet will be replacing the existing cabinet, so that entire cabinet will be replaced. Ichiha board will have structured letters that are there and LED lit from behind, so that at night you just see the lettering from behind. And that is our standard sign. Hopefully that fits more to the board in Macedonia.
It's the same size as what was proposed.
It's very similar, Brian, I don't wanna be on the record saying it's the exact same size, they have the measurements there, it's definitely not, it's
Well, it's below
it's
40.
well under our standard monument sign, which if we were to remove the base, we can install a larger sign and still be under the ordinance for the signage. So we're giving up the size because there's an existing base there with lettering, there's no need to go through that.
Well, it says it's 32 square feet, so it's under 40, which is the permissible amount. And it's, height-wise, it's below, appears to be below the 8 feet, yeah, because your monument's very small. So, yeah, I feel like it complies area and height. And, Mr. Chair, I do think it's a significant improvement.
I would agree.
Is that cement board an issue?
No, I don't think so. It's actually, that's a nice upgrade from what's currently there, and I think what was being proposed prior to this, I could do that, I think it was nice.
I like the night view.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that does show, because the express auto wash free vacuums, all that will not eliminate, it'll just be clean.
Correct.
Okay, I see.
Christine, do you have any comments on the sign itself?
So they added this free vacuum.
Okay.
You already changed the signs in the building, right? That's what I
Yeah,
remember.
those were last year.
Yeah, that's what I thought, okay.
Okay. All right, I have no comments on the signage. You want to talk about the booth now at this point?
I'm good, you good?
Okay, on the booth, the site plan was provided, it just highlights the location, which is the exact location of the current kiosk, get replaced by the booth. And because it's a custom booth that we're specifically designing for this, we'll just walk through what I provide. So the first sheet is our standard booth, the logo's removed, which is not acceptable, right, just for metal that we're talking about. But what this shows, the reason why I also included this was the rooftop element, the first and second page. The second page shows the HVAC unit that will keep the board, so we've moved that to the roof. And the first page shows the actual panels that will keep it sealed.
Okay.
To meet that requirement.
Got it.
Then to meet the materials requirement, this is a vendor who works with a food manufacturer in conjunction with, so the one that says Tando stone on the top is there just as an example of the types and colors of stone that they can provide. And then the following picture, the image of the actual booth. I wanted to talk through it just because we would have this manufactured only with the flat. So that's why I'm showing you our old booth to show that in order to hide the HVAC, we found the best way to do that was to get it onto the roof, because the height would help eliminate from view, and then putting that beam around the top, the band around the top, we can seal it completely from view. And so it would not be sort of this gable style roof, it flat roof. But what this is showing is that the lower half would be a stone look on the roof. That would be one of these colors that look to kind of match what is there currently. Kind of has a dark gray metal siding, and then it has this sort of reddish, I guess long and short is the request here is if this booth is acceptable and the location is acceptable, we would ask for approval conditioned upon the city planner's approval of the final, I don't know what word, the aesthetics, the aesthetics of it, to make sure that we have the color correct and the city's happy with the color, and it does that in fact match the block that exists on the current building.
What do you think about the materials?
So, I have kind of a few thoughts on this. I actually was thinking that I'm not a fan of how it just transitions from like the stone to, I don't know, what's the upper part of this going to be? Is that metal then still?
It is.
I was actually,
That could be like a dark gray, I'm sorry.
I was actually gonna recommend maybe trying to use the Nichiha panel for like a similar look of what that Nichiha is gonna be. I think that would tie to the sign then and just move nicely.
I can look into that.
Okay.
The other question would be, there's a gray on the building, that is 50% of that side of the building is a metal siding. And that might be a material that we could more easily match, unless the metal you're saying is just a component, that dark gray that's on that. It's
Yeah,
that
I
side of
see
the
that.
building, that sort of reddish, orange.
Do you have any photos of that? I'm trying to look at it on an image here and I'm
On
not.
the streets.
Yeah, it's on the street view. Okay, I've gotten like kind of. Yeah. it's-
And there's some across the bottom of that portion. The last page is details of the size of the
Oh.
which would be similar. Yeah.
I'm almost wondering if this insulation bay on the bottom to match the stone that's on the bottom of the building. And then it's more the, probably the necessarily being the metal up above there. I think as long as it looks similar to what's on the side of the building right there.
Color match.
Yeah. I think
So this could be
color.
This is just an example.
That's just an example. I think what that would look more like is you're gonna have you would have, not all of it goes left, right? So you'd see more of the metal here and that going up the side of it, so it'd have more of a red look to it.
Wouldn't this booth look more like this? So are these black areas windows, I assume?
They're windows within, correct, they're not like.
Yeah, so it's a lot of glass up there. So it's less of this metal, right?
So really, the only color area you would have would be the corners. Color match that.
Windows on the building are aluminum too, for clearing the eyes, like silver color.
Yes.
And that's the same thing you would do on these windows.
Is that how Scott? I'm afraid.
I touch it, because as soon as I touch the street, it goes away. Yeah, it's also a community street and it's Google Maps and.
My only concern, like, with any one of these is I think it's gonna be a stark difference.
What's there? These are the only color options that they have. There was a meeting for the building. Yeah.
The one outside will remain just in case you need it, customer, even though that's not land, in case they, something that we can transact and open the gate.
But so there's nothing here as far as like any type of computer or anything?
There is.
Because where I'm going is where if there's something there, it's kind of blocking the view of where it's proposing to
You're right.
So it's not a,
Do you,
The vehicle will block it.
Yeah, and then it's also a highway entrance.
Mr. Chair,
so this, yes.
can I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
What's the, you said it's custom building, what's the fabrication period for it? How long will it take?
I didn't ask that question.
I'm assuming this is not you're not using this right now, you're planning ahead for a few months down the line to be able to utilize it.
As soon as we can install it, we will, because
Yeah.
any condition, whether it's hot outside or cold, it's
Sure.
climate controlled, so we want it there. And we do want the employees there to greet the customers who are not members.
Yeah.
At that moment, not having to walk out the door.
Yeah, but it's not something you're gonna put up in 2 weeks. It's,
No.
you got some time period. And the reason I ask is, maybe it's difficult to make decisions without some level of, it feels like the commission can give guidance tonight as to
Yeah.
what you're looking for or what you would consider. I heard the Nichua panels, if that's a direction you want. Having some metal as accent is probably fine, but not as the primary material. So those are things I think you could probably give direction to, and then, come back with a proposal. Unless you want to allow it to be administrative approval, that's up to you.
I kind of think we're kind of trying to piece together a lot of different things here, and I just want to make sure this gets reflected properly. I'm just kind of torn on because I guess the other question I have, and what I was gonna ask too, is like, where in relationship to, like, so you've got the booth that's right here like this, where is that menu board that's going to go? Is that going to sit like right here directly in front of it? Is it going to sit at an angle, like to the booth itself? Like, how is that gonna sit in relationship to this new booth?
So the menu board that's on the middle island,
Right.
it's already there. We're not
Right,
adding another
yeah,
one.
no, I got that, I'm talking about the booth in relationship to where this menu board, that other transaction component is gonna be.
That menu board is on that island.
Right.
There's no menu board on this island.
So it's only going to be the booth there,
Just the booth?
just the booth.
Yeah, and there's an RFID reader, which will go over at the gate.
Right, okay, so there's one of this one there. Okay, so it is just sitting there.
What we got in front of it is another kiosk. Menu boards. That's what's in front of it, that ramp.
Yeah, but I think like once you're coming on the ramp, that's gonna be the first thing, you're gonna see that corner, that's not gonna be blocked. And I guess my concern is gonna be is you're adding another one of these materials, well, I think this looks really nice. I think we're just adding another material and another color component to the base of the building itself, it's going to stick out, I'd almost like it to kind of somewhat disappear, or kind of somewhat not be as, the gray will disappear, but the base of it, I don't feel it will.
Would it have to be stone?
No, I was gonna recommend even like if there's a brick or something that can get it closer. Like even cause like you can get brick that's closer probably to that stone base color. I think this is just limiting right now, and I don't feel like any of these.
Are you saying brick or like a brick veneer?
A brick veneer, because I don't think we're gonna, the booth itself is not gonna be able to be. They're not building this on site, this is gonna come as like a prefabbed piece of equipment, so it's either gonna come like this, or we're gonna put it all together on site locally, and that's gonna be that.
What about matching the brick on the building? That might actually be easier.
That's kind of where I was getting at, but I don't know which one of these, I think there needs to be a study done better to like show, like which one of these, like what that brick is, like which one of these two would be closer to that, or
You're saying this brick?
that brick.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what the difficulty is not showing.
We should have,
exactly the city's looking for, that's the challenge.
we should have a record of what that brick is, correct, from what it was.
I think so to the house, yeah.
So we
I
could
think
get,
so, yeah.
like, if you don't have that information, I think the city can at least get you the stone color and the brick color, so that you can then have the manufacturer look and provide a recommendation on which one's closer to this. Cause I think like us looking at a photo and that, like, we're not, I'm just afraid it's gonna look real. What I don't wanna do is have it, like, we give you direction, it comes out and it looks tacky from a release standpoint, you're not happy, we're not happy with it. So I think kind of getting closer to what it's gonna actually look like, I think is gonna be, is kind of important.
And Mr. Chair, if I could just say, you used the word veneer, and as you're aware, the commission has not embraced veneers here in the past. It's always been a full masonry brick.
Yeah, well, this is not either, so I don't know.
Yeah, right. That's
I know we're opening a little bit of a can of worms there, I don't know, I think we as a commission need to make that determination, are we okay with that?
Yes, where I was going is the material that we would like for the back of the sign. Could the booth be made of that? And have it, like, no brick, no stone, just that, and then color match that?
You talking about like the Nietzsche hot pan?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
I know Nietzsche hot makes a product that would look similar to the base of it, and then the upper part could be,
But the upper part, it's still, I keep coming back to.
I know, you're
the
right,
glass.
it's very minimal,
So it's
you're right.
really just talking about this band down here, which is half of it, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think just getting, again, a clearer image of like what, if this, is this truly what this booth is going to look like? We know that the mechanical unit sits behind here.
Dimension, correct, yes, that's correct.
Okay. So this part really right here is gonna be your base material, or is this band gonna come down, or is that band gonna carry all the way across?
This, it'll look just like this, only you have to have a band here, especially for like each those on corners now. If you tell me that each has a product that we do specifically, they have
I
their
don't know
own
what,
right?
yeah,
I have to look into that.
I know Nietzsche makes, they have a bunch of different products, and my thought was just like, if you're using it for the sign, maybe you could somehow tie that into this. So really, we're just talking about this area right here, there, and there, and up there on that side, correct? That's gonna be the other material.
So how do we proceed?
Well, I think this might be the juncture where we should, maybe we make a motion to approve this and separate the sign component out so they can get this done and install. And that's kind of gonna be asking.
Do we separate the sign out from the booth?
Sure, yeah.
And then I think the
Seems
booth
like
just needs some
reasonable.
additional investigation in terms of materiality that could blend better to the building. And an actual like representation of what it's gonna truly look like, so we can make a better determination visually, because, well, I appreciate, like, I get exactly what you're going at here.
I understand.
I think just kind of visually seeing what is it gonna look like at the end of the day? Especially from a material standpoint. And then maybe working on, getting what the colors look. Maybe one of these do match and it's really gonna be, it might almost just kind of completely blend and disappear, but I'm not seeing one that Yeah, I'm not even saying it has to necessarily be niche. I know what you're getting at. I think just some kind of a material that blends the building a little bit better, color wise and then just aesthetic wise, so it doesn't kind of look like this just weird kind of sitting out there by itself. So.
So the other thing is, if you wanna come for the March meeting, the deadline to submit that would be February 20th. So that gives you like, today's the 9th. So. Always hate that. What's that?
That's what time it is.
Yeah, I actually was afraid to look at that, so I think it'd be like 5 days, but
We're early.
because we're early this month because of the holiday, yeah, so. Okay. I'll make a motion on the sign.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we separate out the monument sign from the new proposed, employee booth design as part of this submittal.
Okay. I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So then what I would do is make a motion that the booth, employee booth design come back at a later date and be continued at the applicant's discretion for a revised design to work with getting the existing building colors. And I think we've given enough direction in terms of kind of design and stuff. I think you came with kind of the different pieces parts, so I think you understand what we're getting at. That's my motion to separate that component out.
You already did
I
that.
think we did that already.
Okay.
So we just need a motion to approve the sign, right?
You had a motion without a second to continue
Correct.
the discussion on the architecture of
Yes.
the booth.
Yes, I'm just waiting for a second.
Oh, okay, I'll second that, I understand, sorry, I'll second that. Okay.
I
All
thought you
those-
seconded the
He seconded the
separation,
I seconded the
separating it.
separation.
Yeah, he seconded it, I wrote it down.
We
Yeah, that was
separated.
approved,
Right.
3-0.
Okay, now what are we
Now he's
doing?
making a motion to continue the booth part, right?
Yes. Making a
But
motion.
where's it your
Okay.
file?
No, you're fine, that's exactly what it is. We're making a motion to continue the booth part to a later date based on the applicant's, at the applicant's discretion.
And then I also seconded that.
Okay.
And now we'll go ahead and we'll make a motion to approve the
Should we vote on
Mr.
it?
Chair, you should
Oh,
vote on
sorry.
that motion,
All those
and
in
before
favor?
you do, just want the record to reflect that when you say the booth part, you're talking about the architecture of the booth based on the conversations here tonight and the direction you provided the applicant.
Yes, that's exactly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Go ahead and we'll make a motion to approve the monument sign as submitted at tonight's meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, very good.
And just, for the secretary's minutes and for the record, of the ayes that you received in all three instances were 3-0 to support the motions. Do a roll call on this in the future, just as one case.
We'll be back.
I need to get up.
That's okay. I need you.
Next item is 1101 East Road. Come on up. Thanks. Good evening.
My name is Chuck Snell. I represent Dr. Olravati.
I'm with you.
Yeah, he also, he owns it through an LLC, 1011 East Aurora Road LLC. He has an architect who has proposed plans before. We had to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals. This has been ongoing for a long time. Planning Commission approved it twice, and we finally have approval through the BZA. So we are here tonight with regard to those plans. Dr. Olravati's architect could not come tonight, and so that was more of a last minute thing. He's out of town, he's not gonna be able to be back, so he asked me to join today. I looked at the agenda and was able to read the comments that were there, but those have not necessarily been reviewed by your architectural consultant and Dr. Old Body's architect.
I didn't receive actually the designer report, I just wrote it on the website.
So-
I got Mr. Klein's report, specifically,
But not the architect.
so not the design.
Yeah.
specific design.
So there are 3 issues that I think we can easily resolve. One is the architect recommended that the entry door be white like the rest of the building and all the other materials match, that there was some confusion. He's going to match all these materials, the windows, the brick,
The issue is my tenant now, he has different, it's Hampton paint color, which is like dark green.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to do it white, I will, but I would think to match the other side would be, it's
Yeah.
up to you guys.
Because I know, yeah, I remember when Huntington came there, we did some revisions or something, they wanted to do that gray, we ended up allowing that, at the
her
time.
comments, Pam Schultz's comments
Yeah.
reflect the white that was in the original plan, but not necessarily the gray.
Right, that's
That's
correct.
something they put on that side. These are pretty much removed, the sides do not, you can't see the other sides, but we would make it all consistent with what's there.
I will do all the stuff with the same color, maybe just the entrance to match the other entrance. If you guys want to.
There's also an issue, she recommended that all the equipment be, behind the parapet and hidden from view. In particular, that's with the rear, and she talked about a roof line. We can talk about that further. And then the storm drainage, the engineer recommended, I think Mr. France recommended that all the storm drainage go back to the pond that is north of the property. We would continue to do that. We will acknowledge that we would do that. There are
Actually, there is a stone drainage right next to the addition, because the parking lot would be on the side in that area, so. It's gonna be like
So-
easy, just to take that drain and go all the way to the pond at the back.
So I think there are 3 issues that then just kind of remain. The dumpster and its enclosure and landscaping around that dumpster, because it's seen all the way around because of Alexandria Way and how it opens. The roof line, the architectural consultant recommended that the roof line be streamlined. We haven't put the 2, the consultant and the architect together as to how that would occur. But she recommended that it be streamlined and get rid of the cupolas and put some other decorative, I want to say cornice, I don't know what it is, on top of the roof line. And then the last issue is the fence to kind of parallel the fence that is at Gordon Food Supply. There was a fence at Gordon Food Supply, a decorative fence along 82, and there's also a small landscaping wall of up to about 36 inches in front of the parking area, so cars could pull into that area. That would need to be included. We understand those things, and I'm happy to discuss any of these other items that you want to further discuss.
Mr. France, do you want to go over anything that was not covered, or you covered your comments?
Sure. Yeah, I can go through my, my report, so dated February 1st. And so, as the applicant's agent stated, this did go to the Board of Zoning Appeals. That was adjudicated in November and December of '25. Ultimately, the BZA did approve a 7-foot parking setback variance, whereby the plan implemented a 60-degree parking pattern with a one-way drive-out, which appears to be reflected in the plans that were included with the packet. And so, relative to the analysis of the plans, and I say plans because there's 2 proposed site plans, sheet SD1.1. One's date stamped January 13th, 2026. The other is date stamped January 16th, 2026. And there are variations or differences between those plans. So I'll just go through my comments quickly. 1 and 2 are moot points. The use is not a problem. There was a conditional permit issued a while back. Parking no longer remains an issue as the BZA adjudicated that matter positively for the applicant, again pending the parking angle in the drive aisle. And as was mentioned, the stormwater management just needs to be dealt with to the satisfaction of the city engineer. Then the dumpster enclosure screening details. So as I had said, sheet SD1.1 date stamp January 16th, 2026 complies with the commission's prior request that the back of the dumpster be heavily screened with landscaping. SD1.1 date stamp January 13th does not comply, and both sheets are submitted again with the current proposal. So we just need clarification which one we're working with. We only need one, the correct one.
The 16th.
Okay.
The one with the landscape.
Actually, I did ask that, because I remember from previous, 121, that Mr. Franz asked for this to be, so I asked the architect to add this, and I resubmitted it.
Yeah, and I assumed January 16, 2026 was the one we were working from. But if you look at that, it does show materials, but it doesn't provide the material type. But the January 13th, 2026 shows less materials, but it, that packet does show some material type. So again, just want to be sure of what exactly what's being
Can
proposed.
it be brick that match the current building?
He's talking about the landscaping that's around it. There was a particular type of landscaping, a species of shrub that you called out. We can provide that as a supplement that, you know, what are the actual materials? He forgot that the one he first submitted did not have the landscaping plan, all of it.
Yeah, so.
And the architect probably didn't include all the species of what's going in.
Yeah, and again, that would be, you know, one complete package with all the correct information,
Okay.
just so we know what we're approving. Because again, if you look at January 16th date stamp, you've got landscaping along Aurora Road, but you don't really on the January 13th. So it's probably just a mix-up. This is a long discussed plan, and so there's probably just a mix-up.
Very long.
Yeah.
You was there in 2018 too, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
And then you brought up about the fence. That was previously discussed and approved by the commission, was having that 3-foot tall black decorative fence. You'll see it in use within the town center district in multiple locations. And I think that's important to implement in this project. So I put those effectively in my approval. Now I will say that I had recommended final plan approval subject to those items, felt that it could be handled administratively if that was okay with the commission. I just want to say that out loud because I noticed the city engineer recommended preliminary plan approval, and what I believe you're requesting tonight is a reapproval of your final plan approval from a while ago. So just so that's out there. I think that's what you're asking for.
Yes, we
And we will, the architect will work with the city engineer and we'll take the plan together before we take the permit to construct it.
And I say that, and the city engineer will cover his report. Just want to make sure that there is that distinction and if the city engineer is comfortable with that approach or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe, you want to go over your comments and then your thoughts on what approval?
Yeah, we can. So, really the only comment I had was regarding drainage, which we've already talked about, that you guys have indicated how you're gonna handle it. Otherwise, I'm comfortable, with an approval here this evening, and we can handle the review of the detailed, civil site plans administratively.
Okay, so you would be okay with the same recommendation?
Yes, I am.
Fire, did you have any comments on this? You're good.
Not yet.
let's hope we
Maybe much later.
Yeah. Nina, do you have any comments on?
No, but you know, I'd like to have a drawing that shows, you know, the actual details that are on both of those drawings now, so.
Yeah.
You know, I wish that you guys would review that before it comes to me, so that you are all satisfied with whatever's going on there. I hate to have all that burden on me to prove all, whatever you discussed tonight, because, you know, I mean, if you're comfortable
Yeah.
me sending you a drawing and reviewing it, we could do it that way, certainly.
Well, I guess let's maybe talk about the architecture side, because I think a few things, you know, that Mr. France has his couple of issues, you know, getting things cleaned up. Looks like, you know, probably between the two plans, you've got everything that looks good all together. Get one complete plan. Are you guys okay doing the fence as similar to
Well,
GFS?
if you feel that is necessary,
Yeah, we
I
have to
can
have
do
the
it,
fence.
it's not a deal breaker.
I
It's gonna make it look nice.
I would like to see
I
that
think
one.
it would, I think it'd look really nice along there.
It's gonna make it identical to.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
It's a little less extensive than some of the fence, you know, if you match what GFS has, I think it's just fence, right? It doesn't have all the
Piers.
piers and stuff, so it's a little more economic than some of the places we've got, but I think making a match, if you went and did something bigger, it'd make theirs look bad. So I think there's something that would match. But I guess, you know, Scott, do you got thoughts on Pam's memo and any things we're stating?
I have a
Scott's
few,
an architect.
I have a few thoughts, so, I do like how the, sorry, I was letting it turn, but I like how that kinda continues along the decoration up there with the cupolas and stuff. My only concern is just this corner right here now kind of being more of like a prominent corner and being one of your main entries.
Yeah.
I almost feel like that should be brick to match that whole facade of the building.
Actually,
This-
the other side, I have it stucco.
Yeah, that's more of like a side entry. This being on the main road, I feel like that's kind of more of like a prominent, it's a very prominent corner, especially like when you look at from like this standpoint right here, with it being kind of like that prominent corner right there, like that's tucked over there. That I almost view as like, you know, you've got, that's that prominent corner there. That's your entrance. I do realize that, but I feel like this right here really could be like a nice brick material and kind of maybe sit a little, again, I don't know, are we going down that kind of level of detail for this approval since it's already, since they're back? Like, how is this?
I don't know, I mean, I guess,
I
was
don't-
this the plan that was approved last time? This look-wise architecture, that's,
But her comments with regard to the roof and now your comments with regard to the corner are different than the 21 plan. I just wanna get a handle on,
Yeah,
you
I
know, what do we
understand.
need to do to, we obviously need to get the two architects together to sort out the roof line.
I don't have a problem with the overall, I don't think I do have a problem with the overall roof line itself, as long as you're hiding the mechanical equipment, which it sounds like you are. I just feel like this entrance now being on the corner of the building, like that one is kind of more of a secondary entrance, but this one almost is gonna kind of read as like a prominent corner, similar to the way this does right here, reads as a prominent corner. I'm not saying go to that extent for the corner, but I feel like just a little bit more emphasis on that corner.
So, because here is a brick, the top here is a stucco, you want all this with this to be brick?
I think that should be brick. I think it should be a little bit more of like a prominent entry feature there, because it is kind of on that corner. If it wasn't an entry, I think you really would have just continued that like brick pier there and probably had a window. So I don't feel like it would have drawn as much attention to it, but now that you are signifying that as like a main entry point for that tenant, I feel like it needs a little bit more detail and
Potentially, I just want to point out, there are two doors there, there are potential for two entries, because a third of the existing building is not occupied. So we're taking that third to the west and
So that
attaching
might be-
it to that unit in between.
That might be.
And so there's actually potentially two entries there. That's why I think that's why they changed the look. Part of it is the brick, And then part of it is what the other entry is, so that they read as two different entries, potentially.
Are you talking
Not
about
an
this one, are you talking about that one in the
Yeah,
middle?
so
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that one, because again, that one kinda does,
It's tucked into the
it's tucked
corner.
in, it's tucked in there a little bit. This one, again, just being kind of on the corner, I feel like needs a little bit more detail and attention, and just like brick, and I'm not saying it has to go crazy, like ridiculously high, but I just feel like it needs a little bit more emphasis on there as like to signify that entry or that corner there.
So stucco on brick, I can, because here is brick, so you want to do the whole thing brick?
I think that thing needs to, I think that entry, that corner entry needs to be brick and maybe just raised up a little bit, just create a little bit more prominence on that corner, similar to like what, like you read this whole corner right here, because, and I'm not saying to wrap the rotunda there on the corner over here, but that reads as a nice corner element there. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more emphasis like on this corner to kind of end it as well. Okay.
Yeah, but the idea is I'm trying to maybe do the top stucco and do this on the side, like veneers or brick, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think we'd have to just see what it looks like, and Pam and I can coordinate on that. We usually, we can have a conversation on what you guys come back with on that, or if she talks to your architect.
I'll do the back line for this.
Okay.
Please.
Well, yeah, and otherwise I don't.
Okay, I guess, do you guys have any thoughts on anything, any concerns, any real strong opinions on the architecture? I guess if you did go with the brick like Scott's suggesting, I guess that kind of clears up the color thing, you know, the matching
You
color.
can
there.
match
Right.
existing color.
We would have all the same brick.
Yeah, so, but I mean, like the gray entrance, we'd have to decide if this one goes gray or not. I guess, you know, so the things we're looking at, so I don't wanna stick Nino in that spot, but I feel like some of the things are getting down to pretty
Details.
fine details, like, okay, the fence, I think we're saying it should be in there, you know, will that, yeah, if it's not on there, it's not acceptable. You know, all the other, the landscaping, I think, Chris, do you think the plan is okay, what they've got shown, even though you may not know exactly what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of going.
That's mystery plan,
Well, it looks like they were recommending a blue spruce or pine color fir around the dumpster area, so
One will do that, yeah.
I'm probably okay with that. You have a mulo juniper already there. It looks like it's maybe, I don't know when this was taken, but it looks like maybe it's not super happy there, so might as well try something else and something bigger that'll screen that, was probably your point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it goes back a number of years, but
I
the,
wasn't here yet.
the con color was, the arborist at the time was, really wanted to see the con colors. I mean, they are current species, they're tough to grow, but in this climate, but.
Yeah, the blue
Slow.
spruce would do fine. The other one that I always recommend, blue spruce are having there is a disease that they're having a problem with, but I haven't seen it locally yet, but I always recommend the Vanderwolf pine, kind of the same look. But it's a little hardier, so that's another one you can try, and it would probably do okay out there, so.
So I think we're down to fence, a small detail on the architecture, which I think Scott could work with Pam to help, and you guys, to kind of, to work out the details. There's some things that Joe will, you know, review, the city engineer will review in the detailed engineering, site plan review. Am I missing much? I mean, is it kind of the fence and the final details of the architecture?
Yeah, I just wanna, just to clarify relative to the architecture, so Mr. Wallenhurst being a professional architect, I know the commission tends to, let's say, lean on him or, you know, take his advice, which is great, I mean, he's very knowledgeable. But I just wanna make sure that that's the direction of the commission, because if you're going to relinquish that to the design professional for the city, Ms. Schultz, in collaboration and working with Mr. Wallenhurst, that's the direction the commission feels it should go.
is what he was describing.
Mhm.
I think for the applicant's sake, you just wanna make sure that that's exactly what you're directing as it relates to, cause if it's gonna be an administrative approval, it just saves from a lot of headaches of going back and forth. Otherwise, you should bring it back here for the commission to review.
I guess, do you guys have any strong opinions, roof line? I mean, I feel like the plan that we're kind of looking at, that Pam commented on some significant things, is commented on a plan we kind of already beat up a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
To get to that point, Scott's got a little bit of more additional, small detail thing he's looking at. I mean, I'm okay, I don't know that to me, and I'm just, I'm not, but, it seems fine to me, but, granted, I don't have the eye for that kind of stuff. So I'd be okay with it, left as it is in the plan, and maybe, if this is the detail that Scott feels strongly about, I'd be okay with him trying to work that little detail out. If we want to let it be a three-way, all things are still open, including the roof line and everything, and Pam still dig into it some more, we probably should bring it back. If it's that little detail, where I say, if we feel comfortable with just with what Scott's feeling, we could probably let them work on that, and if that's the only thing that changes, let it be an administrative review.
I'm okay with it being administrative with them as long as it's not putting, a ton of hours on Nino's plate.
Yeah, and I think we're talking about making sure the plan is all labeled and everything. That's probably something that they would probably throw in front of Brian, make sure it's everything that everything's on there that's supposed to be on there. If it wasn't, then okay, then you gotta come back. You would probably reject it administratively, and make sure that last detail, if we're okay with what Scott's saying, he could work out that last detail. If that's shown on there, as Scott's describing, he gives it the thumbs up, then that can be approved. And the fence, is the fence shown on there or not? So I don't wanna make you have to make a bunch of decisions, it's more like, are those three things on there? If they are, good, if not, they gotta come back.
So when I get those drawings, can I share it with you guys and you can take a look at it and you let me
You
know?
probably, I
Colors.
don't think you can send it out to the whole planning commission to get approval. I think because then we get into
Sunshine.
sunshine laws and all that kind of open stuff. But I think we're kind of turning the architectural view of the three of us, turning it over to Scott.
Okay.
And
I'm
then the other
colorblind, I
items-
can't tell colors, so I mean, to me, they're all the same, so I mean, I'm not very good at
Explains the
that.
color of your house.
It's pink and blue.
Yeah.
It seems to me that, if that's the direction you're going, you approve it subject to the administrative review for compliance of the items noted in the various reports. If for some reason, relative to the architecture, that there can't be a meeting of the minds, it would have to come back to the planning commission for final approval.
I'm okay with that. Susan, did you catch what he was saying? Cause I'll just make a motion as was stated. So subject to
Administrative review for compliance in the
with the,
enclosed reports.
correct.
And if for some reason you guys can't get it together, you need to come back to the planning commission,
Relative to architecture.
relative to
The
architecture.
other things are pretty cut and dry.
Just for clarification, that roof, like all of your rooftop equipment is screened within that new addition component. I thought that was,
in the back.
well, the back is the addition piece, so that, would you see those units from the roof?
Well, I think what
Hold on a
she's
second, before you, I think we got a
The
motion on
Yeah,
that. Okay, we need
good.
a second, we can have discussion. Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second.
All right, more discussion.
Now, can I talk about that?
Yes.
I think what she's saying is she did not have the entire roof line of the building, and she
Right.
reviewed the plan. So I wanna put the two architects together to look at to look at the roof line and the parapet. Obviously, she said, and we said at the beginning, none of those mechanicals will be visible, because we
Okay.
understand they have to be hidden.
Yeah, so as long as I think what we're essentially just asking is that they're kind of like they're behind this zone right here somewhere.
That new roof.
That new roof zone, and then as you transitioned around that corner, they're in this zone right here.
Yeah.
there's nothing in this area and the flat parts.
I don't think there is, but I don't know the answer to that until we talk to the
Well,
architect.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you talk with Mr. Leon.
We don't know where those
That's fine.
mechanicals are.
Decide, yeah. I'm
Okay.
professionals together, I know more about the.
His furnaces are in that roof, in those parapets.
It sounds like you're
That's
covered.
where all his stuff is,
Okay,
but I don't know that for sure without talking to the architect.
that's fine.
So, you know, it's like a flat roof in the back.
Right,
And all the mechanicals would be behind
Okay,
the other roof, but then she's suggesting a mansard roof, which I think a mansard roof is different than what's here. She's gonna think about the whole roof differently, and then putting it like almost a cornice kind of thing, I don't remember
a
what
parapet
term she
would be
used.
more of like a parapet, probably is what she's getting at, but I'm following what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think we need to put the two architects together and, you know, the consultant and her and maybe you and figure out what is the roof line and where are the mechanicals?
I guess if you don't feel comfortable with there being screened, that's
It's-
probably something that,
yeah,
okay, it's
it's-
gotta kick it back.
it
to
sounds
here.
like it is, and I think as long as they understand that, which they already said, they understand it has to be screened, it's just a question of how are we doing it, so.
Yeah.
The positive today would be, we would know that we could move forward, and most of these problems are outside, and maybe the roof line, right? But the rest of our plans, we could start moving forward on the interior, you know, that part of the plan. And if we have to come back here for next month because of some issue, we will. Does that help? Because he has been through this plan a few times, and he's anxious to get it more finalized so we can start to move forward. So that would help us in the next 20 days, start to move forward with all the interior plans. And then we have landscaping issues and, you know, the more administrative things, and then maybe an issue with this roof, if we can't put all the mechanicals behind the parapet.
So you heard the motion
Yeah,
that was made and seconded. As the applicant's agent, are you comfortable with that motion, or would you prefer that it just come back here? Because what they're doing is they're trying to streamline your process so it speeds up so you can go quicker. But I want to make sure you, the agent for the applicant, are comfortable with that. Otherwise, the typical course of action is you come back here,
right.
you have to meet deadlines, be back here again, and you bring all the materials and they review it and approve it or approve it subject to. So it's an attempt to speed it up for you, but I want to make sure as the agent that you're comfortable with that.
We are completely comfortable with it, and we don't want to put Nino in any opposition either. So we want to work with him, so if there is some issue, I think the only issue that could bring it back is the roof issue.
Yeah, well, let's set aside Nino for a second. What I'm asking you is, are
We're fine.
you as the agent comfortable with this
Yes.
approach? Because if you're not, then they can
Continue.
Yes.
continue this to a future meeting for you to come and meet with them directly as opposed to the approach that's being employed right now.
Yes, we are comfortable.
Then I think the commission can vote on it.
You have a motion and a second.
Is there any more discussion on
Nope, I'm good.
that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much.
Hopefully we're not
Yeah, I
that,
hope they don't.
hopefully we're not that big guy.
Thank you.
I think
But
it's
if we
not,
have to be, we
you're not,
will.
it's not.
It's not
It's
easy.
just that element on the corner.
No, it's gonna go a bit yellow, nice,
I think it will right there, so.
Thank you.
That's freezing. It is.
Next is the tenant side, 7665.
It says
Finally get the
75.
Thank you for waiting.
Save the best for last, right?
It's 50 here.
You went down, I was like, yeah, you're right, it is not getting chilly now. It was fine when I first got it.
It just shuts off at a certain time.
We should take an intermission. Just kidding.
Your plan's pretty self-explanatory. You got a hold of at least the comments?
Yeah,
something?
saw the comments, we made just some kind of generic updates to the rendering there to try to appease that. You know, my issue kind of with the sign here, and my goal is to not put up the cheapest sign possible, but, you know, a full brick pillared sign is a pretty huge cost difference between a pole sign. I understand a regular pole sign is
not permitted, but, you know, I wanna dress it up and make some, you know, brick pillars on the bottom and have just PV posts between the two. But yeah, the cost effectiveness of something like that is,
I'm sure,
Yeah.
it's a big difference.
it's a big difference. And to be honest with you, I keep getting stuck, like, there's a building right across from us, 585, that was rehabbed. They did a really nice job. Someone bought it a couple years ago, and they redid it, and, I mean, it's gotta be less than a year. They put up a pole sign, vertical pole sign, PVC, and it's like, you know, I don't know. I keep looking at that, and it's like, man, well, these guys across the street just put up a PVC pole sign, and then here I am getting getting everything sent back to me. I did bring some copies of pictures of that, if anyone cares to look at it, but.
Is that, Copeland's?
Yeah, that's exactly, yeah, Copeland's, yeah. So, yeah.
So you got a sign up by the road.
He does.
Apparently it was approved.
It was approved?
Yep. About like that.
Well, Mr. France, do you want to go over your comments, your thoughts?
Yeah, so report dated January 31st, and as the applicant stated, well, previously it said the intention is to eliminate the two existing ground signs. I'm assuming that still remains the same.
Correct.
And put up one single sign, which is good, multi-tenant sign. And so to address some of the prior comments, the proposal is to have the two brick veneer columns with caps at the top of each column, and then wrapped with PVC posts. You know, I say relative to the one that we just showed, yeah, I don't know exactly how that got necessarily approved and the details of that sign compared to what this is, but if this sign that's being proposed doesn't necessarily meet the definition of a pole, which is a sign that's supported by a pole or columns and not by like a base structure, then perhaps this sign could be approved as proposed. Now, typically, the veneer, again, I think you heard earlier,
Sure.
is not something that the commission has approved, that it's been, you know, full brick. But when you have full brick, you're gonna need a foundation.
Sure.
Which does add, you know, costs to it. And then relative to the landscaping, there's just sort of pictures of maybe what you're thinking you'd wanna do. There's no details, so we'd need
Yeah.
to have those details of what's being proposed.
There is a pretty decent amount of tree coverage there. So to be honest with you, I don't know what would grow well there in the shade, as far as like an evergreen or something like that, you know? I mean, in my experiences, you know, boxwoods are somewhat okay, but, I don't know, they keep looking at you with that.
Yeah. Yeah, you could
The
probably-
landscaping person?
It looks like you have some dappled sunlight, you could probably get away with a couple boxwood.
Yeah.
If you want some
Yeah,
evergreen
that was kinda-
coverage, and then you look, you're proposing some echinacea,
Yeah, some kind of,
okay.
yeah, some kind of perennial in there.
Yeah.
And then there's the other wall signs and temporary signs that weren't approved. Those are gonna be eliminated, I guess, as part of this.
So, yeah, I mean, the temporary kind of yard signs, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Those will get pulled as soon as I can get this sign in, you know, for one of the newest tenants. Highland Auto Body, I don't know, you know, Bob's been there a long time. Highland Auto Body's been there longer than our business has and before we kind of owned the building. Is his wall sign on the side? I guess it would be the eastern facing side. He's got one on there. Does he need to take that down?
Well, I didn't have any records of the wall signs, and the building
Yeah.
department may have those records, but
Mhm.
I would defer to,
Check it, but
To them.
Yeah.
It's a permit, until we only permits for that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem talking to Bob about taking those down. I think be open to that.
Or,
You're allowed one, so you
Get an
have to take it
approval.
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you
maybe
can
that,
have-
maybe we'll do that, because I think he was, when I talked to him about, you know, moving forward here, he's gonna have to take down the Highland Auto Body sign, he was a little, you know, didn't really like to hear that, I said, well, you know.
Yeah,
don't
you
get
can
upset with-
have-
Don't get upset with me, so that might work if he can then put a Highland on the east facing.
yeah, 'cause
side.
it's a multi-tenant facility
is.
at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can have tenant signs, wall signs on there, just, if there's no approval, just try to
Sure.
get it approved.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Are we talking about the Sherwin-Williams sign that's there?
Is this-
Well, there is a Sherwin-Williams sign, but I feel like he has a,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he had a sign
These are
on the
3
east.
years old,
It's
these
wolf
these
sign.
pictures that they've been
Yeah.
for
It's
the
wolf sign.
that side.
Yeah.
Maybe there's not, maybe it's
Yeah.
just the Sherwin-Williams.
I think it's just the Sherwin-Williams.
So which
It
one
feels a
is
little
this?
weird that
This
there's
is,
not some kind of tenant
So
signs
you've
when you've
got
got
this
3
one.
people, you have 3 different businesses in the building, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to do it right and get
Yeah.
approvals for those.
Yeah.
But that could be separate from this, I guess.
Yeah,
So is this sign here, is this the one that's coming down?
well, that one will be coming down,
It's part of
but
it.
there's one next to it, the Regency Roofing, that's more in the, more centered
Yeah.
in the building. That's where the sign would be coming, so both current signs would be
This one.
coming down. Yes, that's basically where the new sign would be going.
So this one is coming down.
Yeah.
Both those signs.
Both of them.
Both of them are
Both
coming
gone,
down.
new
Okay.
one,
Okay.
roughly in that spot.
So the Sherwin-Williams is gonna stay up, is that correct?
I mean,
Sounds like, it sounds like they might wanna come through and get some official
yeah,
sign.
I'm gonna talk to
official
Bob
plans.
about, I'm gonna talk to
Okay.
Bob about doing something with that sign, getting proper approval, and maybe doing something on the east facing side of the building.
And then
Which
there's
is where
this
he's
for
located.
lease and stuff, that's temporary sign, right?
That's a temporary sign, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that could be going down any day.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe in just a little inventory of what's up.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like there were approvals for some of those signs, so if they
Yeah.
didn't have approvals,
Yeah,
the sign above could handle it, or anybody in terms of submitting what the materials are and the size and all that on a rendering, and that can come through the commission and get approved. 'Cause
okay.
you are allowed to have wall signs for tenants.
Got it.
Just they have to, we have to
Okay.
have approval.
Sure, sure, absolutely. I understand.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a
Go,
question?
please.
Is there a height restriction for the sign? Cause I'm trying, cause I hear what you're saying, whereas like you're going really wide, you know, going, I'm trying to think of a way to like help you, like, I guess, let me ask, what's the height requirement, what's the height restriction for a sign like that for a monument sign or?
Yeah, eight feet?
8 feet.
Yeah, so we did update to include, and I'm pretty sure we submitted this, you know, with the packet of papers on whatever date, but it's, the total overall is 90 inches from ground to top of the sign, and then the overall sign was 48 inches.
Cause
So
what I was,
48 inches by 119.
what I was gonna recommend, yeah, I don't think we did this. Okay, I was
Oh.
thinking we did. So, the reason why I was asking that overall sign height is cause I was wondering if you took and pulled, like, almost like stacked these signs together
Mhm.
to stay within your compliance, and then you were to build,
Put your jacket on.
like, let's just say this, like, go with like a shorter base out of the brick, and then you put this piece on top of there, and then you had your 4 different futures, the larger one, the second larger one, and maybe that one and that one are like 2 smaller ones right
Sure.
there and there, so you got your 2 main, like, looks like you want these 2 to be the same size, these 2 could be smaller, so maybe
Sure.
these 2 are smaller right below there, but if you kept it below your 8 foot, it would help you not have to build
They got the air
like just this
conditioning on.
expansive piece right here, and then be able to put just like an actual a brick base, I guess,
Sure.
is kind of was one of my thoughts for you.
Sure.
But I don't know if you're opposed to something like that where you have them all kind of stacked, or if you were looking for them
Yeah.
to be more separated out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to be honest with you, I'm pretty open about it.
Kind of almost feel like it might help too from like a visibility standpoint, because you do have those trees coming down there, that like it wouldn't, I'm trying to think of, from like an aerial view. thinking that from an aerial standpoint, because you are, like, I've gotta imagine that sign's gonna come,
Yeah, it's,
like, back in here.
yeah,
And my concern would be is it, like, that tree might almost block
Sure.
part of this, one of these
Mhm.
loops right here, so if you were able to put it right at your setback line and go there, everybody would have visibility without any of the big trees blocking it
sure.
on both sides. I don't know though, cause I don't know
Yeah.
exactly like how far, like when you showed us that one picture out at the street, like I don't know how far back that came.
Theirs didn't come,
I'll find it.
yeah, theirs was pretty close to the street.
No, I'm talking about
Oh.
your, maybe it's on one of these.
Yeah, how close are you on the Regency?
Yeah, I think the original, let me see here, 'cause I had some other stuff. I think our original submission had some of that information with the setbacks.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that this might end up getting, part of it might be blocked by how long that is far back.
Sure.
Once you accommodate the setback, so
Mhm.
that's just a thought that I had.
Gotcha.
And then you wouldn't have to go, you know, if you cut that just like shorter for your base itself, like essentially you might be able to get away with, like when you piece all of that together, you might be looking at the same amount of brick
Yeah,
around there as opposed to separating it out
Sure.
and having a long expansive.
sure. Yeah, this is what I was looking for, yeah, kind of that same overhead you were looking at. These lines and measurements don't really mean a whole lot to me, but there was,
Yeah, I just wonder like how far back that's gonna come, like when you figure in
yeah.
that, is it gonna be sitting like where it's gonna get, that tree's gonna start to block?
Yeah,
it?
I think when you're heading east on, yeah, and I was misspeaking earlier, Bob's is the west facing building, that's right, yeah, yeah. So when you're heading east on Highland, yeah, you would have a clear view of it, but if you're heading west, yeah, that little piece of it might get blocked by the trunk, you know,
Yeah,
that way.
Do you guys have any thoughts? So, Mr. Francis, you were indicating that possibly what he had proposed could potentially be approvable. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the pole signs are not allowed, without diving into the details of the one across the street. They're not allowed.
I'll come back with the proposal for that exact sign, it's no problem.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, you know, typically what you would see is, full brick,
Yeah.
and then, you know, with the sign in between, and then you don't have poles, you have brick pillars. And that eliminates the issue. And I didn't follow that conversation, I apologize.
He was thinking more,
I was
go
just thinking
taller
going,
instead
just
of
going a little
wider.
taller, as long as you, the reason why I asked about the 8 foot was because like if you start at the 8 foot mark and you put, we'll just say Highland Auto Body and then Regency roofing below, and then you just did 2 smaller panels for the other tenants, you still get your 4, but you're condensing that base itself, so you don't have this like, 'cause it was almost 120 inches wide.
Yeah, these have some
If you pull it
expansive.
closer together, you've got a little bit taller of a sign there, and then you still get your 4 tenants, you stay underneath the 8 foot, and you might be able to make your base, the brick base, like shorter essentially.
And avoid poles,
And, yeah.
and
And
it might be the same cost
Yeah,
or
so that's
similar.
kind of where my head went to, is like, if you
Yeah.
pull it together, you might be able to save on some of the materials, especially for like the upper part, like,
Mhm.
Yeah, that 10-foot monument base is expensive.
yeah.
Yeah,
Would you be more interested in keeping your proposal as it is? Or would you want to rethink it and possibly do a skinnier, taller, where we might,
I mean, I
might
could,
have like a more formal base with brick
yeah,
that's condensed down, or we probably could approve.
I mean,
what
if
you've
we
got.
can approve what we have right now, I think I'm good to move forward with that.
Mhm.
If for whatever reason it's not wanting to be approved, I would look into a vertical, maybe 1 base sign like you're proposing, but once again, just for me, like big things, it comes down to costs, I don't, you know, I know I can get this is a lot more cost effective than, you know, once again, a full brick pillar, or also, you know, I just question the cost that might be involved with the, you know, vertical one base, one brick base sign. But, I mean, I'm open to, you know, looking into that if need be.
I guess, I hate to make this tricky, but, you know, if you guys find this acceptable, you know, could we approve this sign as submitted? But if I think we kind of prefer something with a more formal base, I think. If you would wanna look into it, if you thought that would be ballpark the same amount and there was, there'd be some benefit, then I guess, if he was able to resubmit something, if he already had an approval, would he have to still pay any submission fees or anything if it was the same issue?
Not if you put it in a motion that's like Brian, like continued, or, you know.
I don't know, or do we just keep it
Or
simple?
prove it subject to.
Yeah.
Prove it subject to his investigation of.
Yeah, because
option.
you're still, you have the veneer issue, which we haven't approved, or veneer.
We have a few similar, but it's pretty low. I can think of a couple along here. I think we don't like to.
And relative to just making them brick posts, is it the cost of having a footer?
To be honest with you, I don't know what their cost, why it's such a difference with the cost. I would assume that's part of it, you know.
The
Yeah.
footer is the most expensive.
Yeah. The footer with that. Yeah, I was pretty, you know, because at first when I came back, I was like, okay, they want to see brick pillars, and we contacted the guy from the sign above, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe it'll double the cost. It was literally like almost $7,000 more to put up that, you know, full brick, and that was that was just a little much.
$7,000 more than what you're paying.
Correct. Correct, yeah, that was the difference. Yeah, that was the difference in the cost. So, especially like I said, when I look across the street every day and I see that PVC post sign there, and I'm like, oh man.
Well, this one I'm thinking just make a motion to approve as submitted. If you would decide later on, you would, before you get this done, that you, geez, if I did do it this other taller, skinnier way, that, man, it is the same, right, and it probably would work out better for you,
Okay.
then resubmit, but.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wanna make everybody happy, you know, within reason, and, you know, keep things how people wanna see them. You know, own a business, run a business out of Macedonia, own a building here, you know, so I take pride in stuff too. So like I said, it's not me just trying to put up some junk or nothing, it's just, you know, trying to come to a happy medium, that's all.
Well, maybe as Susan said, maybe make a motion to approve the sign as submitted. Although if he reconsiders for a different design, that he could resubmit that as a change to the same application.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Probably no.
If he reconsiders a different sign,
A different design for the sign, he could do that as a revision to this with the same
Okay.
application.
May I ask a question so I'm clear here? So,
Second, do we have a second on the motion? First, second?
I'll second.
Okay.
okay, so I just need to know which sign is coming down, you know, so that I know what to expect when I do the inspection.
A Highland Auto Body
I don't know.
sign will be coming
Okay.
down.
Okay,
Regency Roofing sign will be coming down.
okay,
The temporary for lease sign should be
Okay.
hopefully down very soon.
okay,
If not, it'll be
Okay.
replaced with a Gerspacher Realty sign.
And on the rest of them, we'll check if there is a permit. If there's a permit, we're all set. If not, then we'll work with you on getting permit for those.
Permit for the sign.
Yeah, the wall
Okay.
signs.
For the building, work about on that later.
Oh, yes,
Say
yes,
no
yes,
where
yes,
it is.
yes. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so all
Yeah,
the
and,
yard signs will be coming down.
Yeah, yard signs down, and then I'll talk to Bob about his Sherwin paint sign, which, to be honest with you, I don't know if he still uses Sherwin paint.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion, Commission?
And
All, oh, go ahead.
just wanted to ask, relative to if the applicant explores it, which sounds like he's willing to do,
Yeah.
and finds it's of similar price and is willing to do that because that's the commission's preference, could that just be administrative approval
I would be
to
okay
save him
with
some
that.
time?
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, very good.
Chris, you seconded it?
I
Okay,
did.
Administration.
I'm not
Okay.
bringing it back, that's fine.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right,
All right.
thanks.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it. Enjoy your night.
You too.
And I think that's the last item, unless you have anything else. Is that it?
There's nothing on the agenda.
Yes. What's that?
I made a
make
motion to get
turn
heat
up the
at the next meeting.
Especially just for hurry to get out of here or something.
Man.
No, this happened the last couple of years too,
Yeah, they've had trouble.
Motion we adjourn.
and it's uncomfortable.
Second. All in favor, adjourned?
Aye.
You guys have hair on your head. I mean,